What is going on, Grid Rush Racing? Today we're going to be going over the Chinese GP weekend. Crazy weekend. I had to wake up at 3 in the morning to watch this race. Absolutely awful. Horrendous. I was exhausted, but I do it for you guys. I do it for you guys. Now, before you ask about the Australian GP, did not happen. Didn't make a video on it because it didn't happen. Does not exist. Anyway, let's get into this ranking system we have today. Today we have 22 drivers we have to rank, even though a decent amount of them didn't even race in the race, didn't even start actually. So it'll be difficult rankings. As usual, we have our S tier, which is super driver. Only one person gets to super driver. We got our A list drivers, the drivers that did exceptionally well. B, C's are in the average category. D is bad, and then we have our super F tier, which only one driver gets for being the absolute worst throughout the entire weekend. Now, once again, we're going to do the sprint and the GP combined with the Grand Prix worth more points. So, kicking us off, Kimi Antonelli. F tier. Nah, I'm kidding. S tier. I mean, that was sensational. He had a mess up, let's say, in the sprint where he had a bad start, but he climbed himself back up to fifth, even with a penalty in a sprint, so that's pretty good. And then he went on to the Grand Prix, was able to win it, even though he lost first place in the first lap because Hamilton and Charles got by, but he did the smart thing. He covered off his teammate, George Russell, and then he moved his way up top. So he is our super driver for the weekend. Our next driver, George Russell, we're going to put him in A tier. A tier. Also, fantastic weekend. Won the sprint, came in second. Now, granted, the car is also just super dominant. So as much as the amazing driver Kimi and George are, I think at the end of the day, that car does put in a lot of work, and I'd be curious to see if the McLarens could catch up and see how they would compare against the Mercedes. Next up, we got Charles Leclerc, another A tier, consistent all week. Going on podium. He is insane. He's great, putting up battles against Lewis Hamilton. Really fun to watch. I think it's very entertaining. He did really well this weekend, and I think an A tier is deserving. Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton is going to be put in the A tier. I gotta put him. Let's see. I think we're gonna put him. We're gonna put him in between. Put him in between George. Put him between Leclerc. He got the podium in the Grand Prix. Got his third place podium. Love that. Love that. I'm concerned with Ferrari's strategy. We know we saw that in Australia, but I'm concerned with them fighting all the time. It's Mercedes just pulls away, and it's hard to keep up with Mercedes in the first place. So I think team rules might have to come into play at some point because the minute they start fighting, Kimi or George, whoever's out in front, just pulls away, and it'll be impossible to ever win a race. So either the car's got to improve or there's got to be a better strategy. And let's be honest, Ferrari's not making a better strategy. So I think they're going to be stuck in the third and fourth position for a long time this season. Next up, we got the Alpines. Franco Colapinto. His best race I've seen him so far. I mean, I know with the Williams, but I mean like with being an actual driver, not on the reserve. I'm going to put him in the high Bs. I think the strategy wasn't great for him, staying out. It was a good play, and he actually did the best compared to other drivers like Hulkenberg or Esteban Ocon staying out. But I think at the end of the day, I think B is a good spot. I think he kept up with Pierre really well. And for that, I think B is the best. If only he didn't get nicked by Esteban at the end, because that would have been interesting to see how, if he would have gone up a place and overtaken Carlos Sainz, that would have been interesting. But I think high B is the best place. Pierre, same thing. We're gonna put him in B category. Actually, I'm gonna put him in A, simply because his qualifying was so good as well. You know, Pierre's always been a good qualifier. I mean, look at him last year getting Q3 with that tractor of a car. So I think it's well deserved, and I think overall A is a great place. He scored points for his team, even though it wasn't many. Points are points, and it's better than last year. So I think Alpine's looking on the up and up, and I'm hoping Alpine maybe pulls off a podium. They got that Mercedes unit, and it seems like compared to the other teams, they are doing the best using that Mercedes unit. They've had the least amount functions, and they compared to where they were last year, they've done so much better. So I really think they're going to be like the second best Mercedes power unit if McLaren can't pull it together. Next up, we have the Aston Martins. This is tough because this car is a pile of garbage. Absolute garbage. We're going to put Fernando in C because him getting off the start was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Him and Carlos jumped up a bunch of places. I forgot the exact number, but I mean, he was flying, and then the car just sucked. So I think C is a generous play. Actually, I'm gonna put him in B. I'm gonna put him in B. I'm even gonna put Lance in C because it's hard to, at least for me, it's hard to see where they actually would place if they had a decent car. Because I think Fernando did really well with what he was given, but both of them couldn't finish. So it's weird putting someone that doesn't finish the race in a B and a C tier, but I think that's where they deserve to go. Borletto, I'm gonna have to put him in D. Ooh, I don't want to put him in D, but that car is good. That car is good, and Borletto is so good. We saw him last year really blossom into such an amazing driver, and so I know with the Audi being a decent car, I know he could have done so much better, and for that, I'm going to punish him for that because he his talent and his skill is so incredible, and his qualifying is so special. To just crash in qualifying, I think really killed him. So I think D tier is where we're going. Hulkenberg, Hulkenberg's gonna get in the B's. We're gonna put him in the B tier. Another guy, he came back from Australia after not even starting, and look at him now. P11. He's Mr. P11. So love that. Love to see that. Hopefully he gets a point at some point. But I think B is really good, especially because he was just flying towards the end. Especially Sergio Perez, D tier. You know, crashing into your teammate on the first lap of the Grand Prix. I don't know if it was the first. It was in the first few. But I mean, come on, what are we doing? It's a new team, right? The goal isn't to win. The goal is simply to have both cars go over the finish line. And with so many do not starts and so many people crashing out and retiring during the race, like you could have easily just coast, save those tires, and maybe you could get a possible overtake like Valtteri Bottas, who's going in the C category because he did beat Ocon, even though Ocon got that penalty, but he was able to take advantage of it, because he wasn't wrecking his tires like Sergio was trying to beat his teammate. So for that reason, I'm putting Valtteri in C and Sergio in a D tier. SD. Esteban Ocon had a really good weekend. Really good weekend. But that was a I'm putting him in C. That was a stupid mistake. It was a stupid mistake. I mean, he admits it, so obviously I'm not mad. Like I appreciate him taking responsibility for that. But you can't make those mistakes. And it's a shame he makes these types of mistakes sometimes because I mean his talent is so good and I would love to see him fighting with a higher midfield to upper tier team, even though Haas is in fourth in the constructors, which is kind of wild. So maybe he is in the top slot. So maybe Haas is the fourth fastest team, and they're just fighting. Maybe we'll see a Haas win. That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. But if anyone's gonna do it, Ollie Behrman's gonna do it. Ollie Behrman's going ahead of George. You know, this guy's a superhero out here, faking out Hadjar so much that Hadjar spins out. I mean, he's like next up to be super tier. Like if Kimmy didn't win the race, even honestly, like if George was closer to Kimmy, like if Kimmy only won by like a few, milliseconds at that point, because he did have that lockup at one point, I would give Ali the superstar of the week because he did so good. He did so good in the sprint, so good in qualifying, and then just so good at the end of the race, taking home a fifth. So yeah, I think A tier is appropriate. The McLarens is hard because they didn't even start. They didn't even start. We're gonna give B tier, B tier. Now, why do I say B tier? Because the sprint, Lando placed fourth, Oscar placed sixth. I think Oscar could have done a little bit better. And then they qualified really well. I mean, especially Oscar. He was up there in qualifying, so it just kind of stinks because it would have been interesting to see how the other teams would have handled that with McLaren. Because don't forget, they were next to each other, so that whole row was gone, and it caused a lot of shifting during qualifying. Like Pierre actually went over the line at one point when lining up because he realized he was in the wrong spot. But yeah, so it's a shame that they didn't get to race at all. But I think B tier for the sprint, for their qualifying, and for what I predict how their race would have gone if they were actually in it. I don't think they would have done super fantastic, but I think they would have pulled a George Russell and get the highest place for what that car could have gotten. Liam Lawson, A tier, A tier. How much of an A tier? How much? Yeah, I'm gonna split the Ferraris because he wasn't an attacking machine like Lewis Hamilton, but I mean Liam was on fire this week. Everything was smart. Everything he was doing, he was managing his tires really well. I think. I think he really showed up this weekend, especially after his Australian, which did not even happen. The race didn't even happen, but it was a bad race for him. So I'm happy he did that because I really like Liam and I hope he stays because I'm worried if Arvid Lindblad beats him this year, I think he's gone. I think he's sadly gone, and I would love to see him back in the Red Bull seat if Max decides to retire early, which is something we can talk about in another video maybe. Next on the list, Arvid Lindblad. He's my stinker of the week. I'm sorry. I have to do it. I have to do it. Why does he stink this week? Spinning out, whatever. I mean, it was rookie stuff, obviously. Like, I'm not too mad, but like after seeing the race that did not happen, Australia, where he scored points on his opening debut, I expect a little more from him. I don't expect point finishes, but I expect him to be a little more up there. And clearly, the mistakes got to him. So I think F tier. Sadly, there's no other rookies to compare to, so it's a shame. But he's a rookie. What do you expect? Like, I'm not going to be too hard on him, but I just don't think he did the best. Alex Albon, D tier. You qualified ahead of Signs, yet you don't score the points. I guess you had car trouble, but I don't know. I don't know about that, Alex. So I'm gonna put you in D tier. Carlos, you are going C tier because you placed. We're gonna put you ahead. You're gonna be the king of C tier because you actually scored a point with that atrocious car. Don't know what happened to Williams, but they're definitely struggling out there. I hope they improve. Don't think it's going to happen. But I think D tier is the best tier. I mean, C tier. C tier. My bad. My bad. Next up, Max Verstappen. This is tough, right? Because on one hand, he had to retire the car. You he had a horrible start in the sprint. He had a not so great start in the Grand Prix. I I don't know. Like, his stance on the regulations kind of tick me off a little bit. Like, I understand where he's coming from, but at the end of the day, it's like you're getting paid to do this stuff, and I get what he's saying because he really likes Formula One, and I don't think he really wants to leave that. But with the rule change, he might just end up leaving. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires early, before his contract ends. But for that, I'm gonna put you in C tier. I'm gonna put you in C tier. I'm not happy with your performance. I don't like the moodiness, and I don't like your overall performance. Yeah, you had to retire the car, but I think your starts weren't good, and clearly they could be good because Hadjar scored points. Hadjar scored points. We're gonna put Hadjar in C tier as well. You can't disrespect my boy Kimmy and get away with it. I saw that clip of you waving your hand at him after Kimmy tried to apologize for running into you. To be fair, he did run into you, but like, besides the point. I mean, look at this guy. He's only 19. This guy's 19 and winning Grand Prix. I'm not 19. I'm older than 19, and I'm sitting in a basement recording a YouTube video. so, so that's all the drivers. That's everyone placed. Let me know in the comments if you agree, you disagree, and that'll be all. I'm going to try to be putting out videos every week on my thoughts on the Grand Prix, and I'm going to be giving some F1 fantasy advice. I think we're going to start posting some videos about that in the near future. Now, it's advice. You don't have to necessarily follow it. I promise you it's not going to be perfect, but it'll be out there in case you want to copy some of my picks. Who knows? I put up a decent amount of points this weekend. That's all I'm going to say. I did have Kimi Antonelli on my team. Just saying. Just saying. But that'll be it for this video. So comment down below what you thought.